All right, so I've been paying attention to the weather the last couple of days, man. I heard something about there was these three storms in the Atlantic, and they all posed a threat to the U.S. mainland at the particular time. And a buddy of mine sent me a link yesterday, and I was checking out some information, and I saw some new information today that prompted me to make this video. Now, there's already one named storm named Fiona that's weakening, and it's starting to pose less a threat to the United States. And there's another storm, I think it's either soon to be Gaston or it's already named Gaston. And this is a storm that needs to be watched, but it's looking like it more likely than not will veer off into the North Atlantic Ocean. May not hit us. The one I'm concerned about is the one they're calling, I think it's T99, or it's a tropical depression. And the weather models are showing some very ominous things with this storm. The track that it's taking is expected to hit Florida and then go into the Gulf of Mexico, where I understand the waters are very warm and conducive for storm development and strengthening. It's eerily similar to the track that this storm, pictured on the screen, took 11 years ago, Hurricane Katrina. And I don't think I need to remind anybody who's listening to this video what Katrina did to the city of, actually the Gulf Coast, but in particular to the city of New Orleans. And I feel especially prompted to make this video because we've already had historic flooding in the Louisiana area, where I don't know the exact numbers, but on a conservative estimate, I'm going to say tens of thousands of homes have already been destroyed from flooding. All right, you've had historic flooding there already, and I think it's still going on. So to have that going on, and to have a hurricane potentially now, I'm not saying it's etched in stone, but the weather ensembles, the weather ensembles, these models are saying that right at the time of landfall, if these predictions hold true, the pressure for this particular storm will be down to 924 millibars, which, if you follow weather, the lower the pressure, the stronger the storm. Katrina, I don't know off the top of my head, but it was something around 920 millibars maybe. I don't know. Camille was at 906. The strongest storms ever were like 888 millibars. I think Gilbert was like 888. I think the 1935 hurricane was like 892 or something like that. The Labor Day hurricane that destroyed Key West, where all of those World War I veterans were working on a railroad, I think it was. But it's like I said, I'm not making this video to cause panic. I'm not making this video for sensationalism reasons. I'm making this video because I was very disturbed back in 2005 when I saw news reporters interviewing people about a Category 5 hurricane striking, or predicted to strike New Orleans and Louisiana. And while a Category 5 hurricane would be catastrophic damage to any locality, this is especially true in a city like New Orleans, which is essentially like a bowl. It's under sea level. And you had people saying, well, we had Betsy in, what year was that, 65 when Betsy hit there? 62 or 65. Well, we had Betsy, I think it was 65. Betsy, And, we survived that, and we've had other storms that were supposed to hit us. I don't think it's going to be too bad. I remember this one particular guy, man. I don't even know if this dude's still alive, man, because, she told him, what are you going to do to avoid this Category 5 hurricane? Well, I don't think it's going to be too bad, they always say the storm going to hit, man, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. And I look at this guy like, man, I'll tell him, like, you fucking idiot. Like, and of course, at least 1,300 people died. Possibly more than that. Many of the victims were swept to sea. And like I'm saying, the reason why I'm making this video, if you live in this area, if you live in Louisiana, you subscribe to me. If you got family living in the Louisiana area or in the Texas area, the Gulf Coast area, period. Hell, even Florida. Watch the weather. Watch the weather. I'm more concerned about the Gulf area because, from what I'm understanding, when it strikes Florida, if it does strike Florida, it still might be a strong tropical storm or a weak hurricane. But it's expected to be a much different storm when it hits the Gulf waters. That's why I'm concerned. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully these weather models might end up being incorrect. Maybe it'll, not strengthen to the level that is expected. Maybe it'll veer off somewhere else, But I'm making this video because, I know I don't have that many subscribers. I only have 5,000 or so subscribers. But if anybody can be reached by this video, if any lives can be saved, and like I said, I'm talking hypothetical because the storm hasn't even formed yet. But I think with these type of situations, you should be planning as soon as possible, and the earliest possible, to prevent what happened or try to reduce what happened with Katrina, because that was just a disgrace. That was bad planning on local, state, and federal levels. FEMA failed. The governor failed. The mayor failed as far as planning for that catastrophic storm. And if you don't depend on the government, depend on yourself. If the storm does form, if it's a major hurricane coming, please prepare accordingly and save your life and get the fuck out of there. If it gets to the point of Katrina, get the fuck out.